Today's European post-trade landscape suffers from fragmentation and limited access, but post-trade infrastructure initiatives and regulatory developments can drive greater efficiency in European capital markets, delivering tangible benefits for clients.
Euronext Securities is shaping the future of post-trade to help clients simplify cross-border operations, reduce risk and scale with confidence in a fast-evolving market landscape. And Pierre Davoust, we'll get it right for the first time, CEO of Euronext Securities, joins us now to discuss this in more detail. Pierre, wonderful to have you here with us on Sibos TV. Now, from your conversations with clients, what are the biggest pain points that fragmentation still creates?
From our conversation with clients, we really see two main pain points. The first one is that with fragmentation, you have extra cost and extra complexity. Clients have to manage multiple connectivity costs to multiple infrastructures. They have to maintain complex IT and operational systems to cope for that complexity. And they have to invest more than what is needed because they have to cope with the releases of each local infrastructure. So that's really the first point. It's more complex and it's more costly for clients to access securities issued in Europe. Second pain point is really a lack of choice, because with the geographical fragmentation of CSDs in Europe, clients don't really have the choice. And with that lack of choice, it means that clients don't get the level of innovation, technology investments that they would get if they had a choice.
And how is Euronext Securities turning those challenges into opportunities, and what real benefits can local issuers and global investors expect?
On the one hand, what we are doing is that we are rolling out a modern, future-proof European platform across all the markets where we operate. We acquired over the past years a number of domestic CSDs running on a domestic infrastructure, and we are now moving that into a totally European harmonized model. The benefit for clients is that they can access all markets where we run the infrastructure as if it was one market. The second thing we are doing really is to allow clients on top of that to use our hub, Euronext Securities in Milan, to access the whole European market, be it issuers or market participants. And by doing so, we really allow them to manage their European business as if Europe was one consistent domestic market.
Now, Pierre, what do Euronext solutions mean in practice for clients on a day-to-day basis?
I think that's quite simple. Let me take the example of an issuer, right? The issuer wants to manage its relationship with capital markets, and that relationship is multifold. An issuer will be listed, the issuer will have to issue shares in a CSD, and will have to manage relationship with its investors. Euronext provides a one-stop shop. We can manage the listing, we can manage the issuance, we can manage a range of corporate solutions that help issuers interact with their investors and the broader capital market. If I take another example, let's take a bank that has to access European securities markets. What it really means on a day-to-day basis is that the bank can focus on growing the top line, growing the business, whilst facing one single harmonized operating model delivered by Euronext Securities.
Clients are now preparing for T+1 and accelerated settlement. So how does Euronext Securities' long-term vision align with the shift that we're seeing, and why is now the right moment to be acting?
Well, that's quite simple. The less time you have, the more simple it needs to be. And what we are doing as we speak is that we are moving from a more complex setup in Europe to a more simple setup in Europe. That means that with the time pressure, clients will be able to cope with the acceleration of the settlement using the simpler operating model that we are rolling out as we speak.
Now, Euronext Securities services go beyond those of a traditional central securities depository and include, for example, data and tax services. But how do these services add value for clients today?
What we really want our clients to do is focus on growing their business. So what we do with the data services and the tax services we've rolled out over the past years and that we continue to roll out is to allow them focusing on the core business. We are selling ad hoc data sets to our clients to optimize their trading and settlement decisions. We are equipping large custodians with tax reclaim services so that they don't have to care about these obscure, painful processes, because we do that for them, and therefore they can focus on their own client and their experience.
And how does being integrated within the Euronext group create value for clients? Aren't you just rebuilding a silo?
So being part of Euronext means three things really for Euronext Securities. First of all, it means that Euronext Securities has the backing of a large company. Euronext recently joined the CAC 40 index, the French flagship index, and has a long-term commitment to grow Euronext Securities. The second point really is that Euronext is active across the whole value chain, from listing to trading, from clearing to settlement. Therefore, we have deep insights on what are the driving trends of the capital markets as a whole. And we all know that changes in the post-trade industry always result from changes upstream. The third point really is that Euronext as a whole is the backbone of the Capital Markets Union. We have taken action over the past years, and we are taking action to integrate European markets as a whole across the value chain. And that delivers what Europe needs, that delivers what client needs, which is a more powerful, integrated European capital market.
And final question for you, Pierre. Why should clients view Euronext Securities as their long-term partner of choice in Europe's markets?
I guess there are two reasons why clients should choose us as the long-term partner. The first reason is that Euronext has a unique track record in executing large-scale transformations of European capital market in record time. We've proven that over the past years. The second reason really is that we are the ones today bringing innovation and disruption in a landscape that has suffered from decades of status quo.
Well, Pierre, it's been great to have you here on Sibos TV. An interesting conversation for us to get our teeth stuck into. We'll let you go. I'm sure you're a busy man, and you've got a whole day of Sibos here in Frankfurt still to come. That was Pierre Davoust, CEO of Euronext Securities.